If you receive a payment that's not a customer payment, you may be kind of stumped as to how to put it into your software because in the daily deposit screen, that transaction isn't in there because it only shows transactions that were posted either in the point of sale or in the accounts receivable module. First off, let's take a look at what types of payments we're talking about. These would be things like refunds. For instance. So had you, say, overpaid a vendor, or actually, let's say you made a purchase from a vendor and then you returned something, and instead of giving you a credit on your account, they just gave you a check back. Or you had, say, your insurance changed and you got a refund from the insurance company, something like that. So you have this amount of money that you need to deposit back into your bank account, but you're just not sure where to put that in. There are two different ways to handle this. I'm going to show you, and the first way would be the way I recommend that you would do it. However, the other way will work as well, and you can use either method. The first method would be to post that payment in your daily deposit. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So we'll go ahead and we'll go to AR and go into the daily deposit screen. So as we mentioned, obviously this particular payment isn't going to show up in the daily deposit screen. However, we have, as you see along the top there, that adjustments tab, and that's where we can add this in. So if you're going to be depositing this payment with the rest of your deposit up for the day, then you'd want to go ahead and mark off everything in the deposit screen here that's going into the bank, and then move on to the adjustments tab. Or if you're going to make this a separate deposit, then you don't mark anything, you just go straight to the adjustments tab. And then here in the adjustments tab, you're just going to put in the amount of the payment that you're posting back into your bank account. And then for the account, we're just going to put it back into whatever account the money originally came out of. So if I bought some merchandise from a vendor and did a return and then they're giving me money back, then I'm going to put that back to my cost of goods sold account that I originally wrote that check out of. If it's from an insurance company on an insurance policy, then I'm going to put that back into my insurance expense. Whatever particular expense account, or it doesn't even necessarily have to be an expense account, whatever expense or whatever general ledger account the original money came out of, we just want to put it back into that same account. And once we have added that adjustment back in, then you'll see our total deposit now shows a deposit of $100. Obviously, if we were depositing this with other things, then this 100 should have been added on to that, and so that our total deposit matches what's going back into the bank account. Now, whenever doing an adjustment, I also like to, in the Edit tab here in the Notes section down at the bottom, just add an additional note there to explain what the adjustment was for. So we might put in something like refund check for insurance premium payment. That way, when we look back on things, we might be looking at our daily sales for the day and then see that the deposit doesn't match, and we can take a look at the deposit screen here and we would see why the deposit was different. And then obviously you would just go ahead and save that deposit then when you have that completed. Now, the other possible way of adding that in is through the check register adjustment section. And under accounts payable, we would go to the check register credit card adjustment section. And it works basically the same way as the adjustment screen. You're just going to put in the amount. And then for the type, it's going to stay on other addition, the particular bank account, the date, and then the same thing. You'd pick a general ledger account that you want to post that into. And then again, I would add a note. And then we would just save our changes. Now, the only reason that I don't recommend just doing it this way is, number one, if you're depositing it with other things, you want that to all be together, and the daily deposit's the only place you're going to be able to put that particular payment in with other payments that you've received into one deposit. The other thing is that general ledger account, you can only select one general ledger account. So if for some reason this refund or this money needs to affect more than one general ledger account, which is possible, then the daily deposit screen, the adjustment tab there, would allow us to put it into multiple general ledger accounts, whereas here we can only put it into the one. So that's the two different ways that you can handle any kind of a payment that you've received that's not something that was a customer payment, and how to get it back into your bank account.